So as I was saying, I am one of the biggest Dead Lay Waiting fans, well, certainly that I know. I've got some really, really good friends that are amazing Dead Lay Waiting fans. I have seen some amazing stuff where people are so committed they've got tattoos and things like that. I've been through in the past why I'm not allowed tattoos and what have you. And last night, it may have come as a bit of a surprise to quite a few people, they decided to announce that actually the Dead Lay Waiting no more. Basically, they have broken up. It's the usual thing, citing musical differences, basically, is what's happened. I think a lot of people were expecting me to be absolutely devastated by the fact that they'd split up, but actually I think I've had my suspicions for quite a while. I was kind of thinking that all was not entirely well the last time I saw them in July. I don't know, you just get this impression with people that something's not quite right. And then, I was saying, I'm going to be setting up a street team account for them, everything's really exciting, they've got this new stuff on the way, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden their merch site came down. They were talking about having a really bad day, all of them, on Twitter on a particular Friday, and everyone was getting really panicky about what that might mean. And then they performed one more gig after that, and one of the band members didn't even show up, and everybody was getting really, really panicky about it. And it was scary. It was scary times. Nobody knew what was going on. But I think looking back, power of hindsight is a wonderful thing, but I think looking back it was pretty obvious that they were on the way out and that they weren't going to be doing this anymore. They've had an amazing run. Let's be honest, they've been together since they were children, basically. The band was formed a long time ago, about, 8 years ago? I would have made Luke about sort of 14, 15 at the time. It's an incredibly long time to be doing, this. Maybe he was a bit older than that. No. Anyway, it's an incredibly long time to be doing something, and your priorities change from when you're in your mid-teens to when you're in your early 20s. I know that. When I was in my mid-teens, I wanted to be a solicitor. And then a few years later, I wanted to study for a history degree, which I did, and then after that I went to work for the local council. And my ideals changed, my morals changed, my stance on the world changed, and it's a very formative time in your life to be making a decision about what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's incredibly difficult, and I think especially if you're going to be in the public eye. And the thing is, they were signed to a record label, and they didn't necessarily have full control over everything that they did. They might not necessarily have had control over all their music videos or the sort of promotional work they were expected to do, because they're under contract. Well, that contract broke down. And some people know some of the details and some people don't, but what pretty much everyone knows is when it broke down, it weren't pretty, basically. They had a really tough time of it, and they had a choice. They could either end the band right then and there, or they could carry on and see what they could make out of it. And they carried on. And they did an amazing job as well, I think. They went on a couple of tours on their own. One of them with Fearless Vampire Killers, that was the Killing Is Dead tour last year. It was an incredible tour. I don't know how many people watching this went to that tour, but it was absolutely brilliant. And, it was the first time I got to actually speak to Luke. And it was just fun. Really, really good fun. It was a brilliant tour, and you had all the Luke-ier stuff coming out and all that jazz. And they really made a go of it. And they even made a lot of their Blind Preacher video when they were on that tour as well. It was the tour before as well, but on the Killing Is Dead tour. And a lot of the footage I recognised from Southampton, I've got to be honest. It was brilliant to see. And they proved that they could go on tours, they could make music videos, they could make an EP, and I've got to admit, The Ascent of Murder is definitely the best piece of work that they produced as a group, I think. And this is while they're going it alone. They came up with a totally new logo, they came up with totally new merchandise, which they coordinated themselves, they did everything on their own. And it was brilliant. They didn't give up, they didn't roll over, they didn't say, right, it's time to lay this thing to rest. They carried on. And the trouble is, as you get older, your musical tastes change, your priorities change, and I think what happened was they just wanted to go in different directions. It really was a case of musical differences. They just wanted different things out of life. Luke wanted to go down the whole, one route, and the others wanted to go down another route, so they went their separate ways. I think the only thing that kind of surprised me about the announcement was exactly who had left the band. I had my suspicions about things, but I didn't really know it was going to go the way it kind of did. But then I suppose what would be the point in knowing everything months in advance and trying to put a brave face on it? I'm kind of glad there was an element of surprise there. So, as I say, it's not all over. Ben, Steve, Sam and Tom are going to carry on. They're not going to keep the Dead Lay Waiting name. People have asked me, are they going to keep the name? No, they're not going to keep the name. I don't know if they're going to perform any of the songs that they've done in the past live, or if they're going to completely draw a line under it and lay it to rest and say, that's it, you're never going to hear, like, Days I'm Gone ever again live or anything like that. You're never going to do The Crawl of Death again or anything. I don't know what they're going to do with that side of things. It's quite difficult to do those things without Luke, I think. And it's a new chapter. I don't see why they would kind of necessarily look back at their past. It was a brilliant time and they did some brilliant work, but I don't think it's worth them particularly going back and trying to bring that back under a new guise. I think it's time to move on. If they're going to move on with a new name and a slightly different, path for the band, I think it's time that they did just that and moved on. Ben has also got his other band that he's been working on for quite a while now. He's the bassist in a band called Burials, which are a pretty decent band. You should probably go and check those out straight away after you finish watching me rant on. And yeah, they've all got some exciting stuff coming on. Luke he's got some amazing stuff coming up. I'm really excited because I know what Luke's going to do, but I'm not going to tell you anything. I will tell you all of that in a later blog, actually. I literally can't tell you anything other than what I know is very, 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 very exciting, and I can't wait to hear it, to see it, to get involved with it. And I hope loads of you will support him and realise that, it's a totally amicable breakup, this, and what he's got coming up is so exciting. I'm sorry I've gone into fangirl mode, I know, but anyone who knows me really, really well knows exactly what I'm talking about right now, and I'm a terrible one for wanting to blurt secrets out, but this is so exciting. It's really, really, I can't wait. It's going to be great. It is going to be great. Trust me. Stick with me. I will keep you updated via YouTube. I'll keep you updated via Twitter, and I'll put the link up and everything. And you're going to see what I mean. In the next few months, in the new year, you're going to see what I mean. It's going to be really, really good. So I think all that's left to say is I'm going to really miss the Dead Lay Waiting. For crying out loud, the phone I'm filming this on still has my Dead Lay Waiting sticker on it. I'm going to really miss them. I've loved following them around the south of England and seeing them play some amazing shows, and they've got some amazing music, and to any of the other fans that I've met at the shows, you've all been incredible. Thank you for supporting them. Thank you for coming and saying hi to me. It's been really wonderful to see you all. And, carry on wearing the merch. Carry on listening to the music. The music never dies. Ever. We'll always have the Dead Lay Waiting's music. And get behind the guys. Just because the Dead Lay Waiting's ended doesn't mean that what they want to do musically has ended. Support them, please. Go and see this new project that the four guys have come up with. Go and see Burials. Go and see what Luke has come up with when he does it. I've got to say, what he's going to do, I'm really proud of him, and it is the bravest move he could have made. What he's going to do is an incredibly brave move. Please, show them all a lot of respect while they're trying to work things out over the next few weeks. Be patient, because there's not going to be anything instantaneous, any sort of snap decisions made and snap announcements, and just support them. If you love them even half as much as I did, just, support them. It's not another My Chemical Romance. It was The Dead Lay Waiting. And we all knew how wonderful they could be. So, my last point I want to make is basically, please keep the whole secure your insecurities thing going on Twitter. Keep the Crows Against Bullying thing going on Twitter. Oh, and by the way, just a little heads up, something I can tell you, the Crows are not dead. Okay, and I'm not saying this in a kind of, through this adversity we will stand together sort of thing. The Crows are not dead. We have a future purpose. We actually do. There's going to be some stuff coming up in the future, and you're going to want to get involved with this. Don't think that just because the Crows were born out of The Dead Lay Waiting that means it has to die with the band. It doesn't. You'll find out as soon as I'm allowed to tell you more. But we Crows, we are still a murder. See you soon.